What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Timeless Steel Garage. Today we're out in the field on location with this 1989 OBS Ford F350. This is actually a Town of Batavia, Western New York fire truck. It was purchased by the Town of Batavia in the fall of 1989, and it had a plow package on it. It had the 7.3 IDI diesel, had cab lights, fire lights, and it had a PTO cable, and it had front lights and all kinds of stuff. And then about 2015, my uncle got it and turned it into a plow truck at his house, and decided to get rid of it. We're keeping it in the family. My wife liked it, she claimed it, so we're using Fred like a work truck and a daily driver truck, and we're just going to upgrade them as things break. And actually, my cousin Sean and I just got done driving this thing 800 miles to Tennessee. You'll see that later on his channel, but we didn't have any issues except we popped the brake line on the first day. And looking underneath the truck, all the Western New York rust issues, the truck really needs all new hard brake lines. So I've got a brand new stainless brake line kit coming. But the wife actually drove the truck over to her mom's house to load up some wood and managed to pop a front brake line and a rear brake line in the circuit. So had a complete brake failure, which is pretty rare. And the back of the truck's loaded with about 1,000 pounds of wood. So I got my truck over here with some brake line and some stuff, and we're gonna just do MacGyver style field repair to get brakes back in this thing so we can drive it back to the house so I can actually restore the whole brake system. The truck is awesome. It's only got 60,000 original miles on it. This diesel just purrs. It's got typical IDI problems. The oil pan is rotten, so I got to replace the oil pan. I'm not looking forward to that. But my uncle, he used this truck all the time. Used it as a welding truck to get metal and take his gas, get his cylinders filled with gas and plow his driveway, and he took good care of it. The only thing we've done so far was he put some reproduction hubcaps on it. But I mean, just come over here and look at this interior. Man, listen to that sound. Isn't that satisfying? But that's an all original fire truck interior right there. Vinyl floor, red vinyl dash, red vinyl seat. And it's got that pretty cool idle control cable right there on the dash, so you can turn the engine idle up manually. I think they were running some kind of water pump or something in the back of it, who knows. Maybe they just put that on there to keep it warm in the wintertime so they could turn it up. But still got the plow stuff in there. Used to have a radio on it, that's gone. But it's a good, honest old truck, and we're keeping it in the family. I still will always call this my uncle's truck, but we're just its current custodians. So let's get to work. Okay, so when this thing failed on us on day one, my cousin Sean and I replaced the rear master cylinder hardline. I don't know if you can see that, this shiny one right here. And it looks like what failed for my wife was the front line that actually goes across the cross member over to the right front brake. And she managed to pop the rear rubber line that goes from the axle up to the hard line on the frame. So both circuits are leaking and bad. I'm going to start by just taking this front brake line off, and we'll get it out of the truck, and we'll just MacGyver one together to get pressure back in the front circuit for now. I'll tell you one thing I don't miss from my childhood is working on Western New York vehicles, and you can see why. But I think what popped is this line right here, and this line goes all the way across the cross member over to the right front brake, which has a rubber hose that goes over to the caliper. I got two new rubber front hoses. I'm gonna have to make this hard line, and I have a feeling that this line right here might be leaking too. But I'm actually gonna just try to get this cross member line off first, because I know that that's bad. So, and you can see just the rust here. It's actually, I mean, there's a lot of metal in this frame, but that's what we're gonna have to do first. All right, I brought over this crappy Harbor Freight toolkit, a bunch of brake line tools, some fittings, an empty jug, some rags. We got some copper line here. It's not copper line, it's that nickel plated cadmium whatever stuff. Got the rubber lines for the front wheels, and we got a new rubber line for the back axle. We also got all new bleeder screws here in these boxes. Like I said, I got all brand new brake line kit coming, but this will get us fixed and back on the road until that happens. Hello. All right, I don't know if you can see up in here, but there's a junction block. Oh wow, was that brake line breaking or was that the fitting coming loose? Oh, this brake line that goes across the cross member literally just like crumbled in my hand here. Oh, the fitting actually came loose. Impressive. I didn't even put any spray on or anything. Alright. So I can't tell if the line going to the master cylinder is actually bad. I think it's the one that leaked fluid, just based off the coloring and everything, and off what I saw up in New York is this cross member one that just feeds pressure over to the right front wheel. So we know that one's got to go. You can see I don't know if you can see this, but my Uncle Joel had already replaced this line when he was plowing, and this line here is the one that Sean and I had to replace just to get the truck down here to Tennessee. And we were so worried about it happening again that Joel gave us tools and brake line and fittings just in case we had to do a roadside repair. And I think this is, how many times did you drive this thing? 3 times after we got back. So this brake line lasted up pretty much exactly as long as it needed to. I think I got enough of it out here to tell you my least favorite thing is brake fluid. As far as getting it on your skin and stuff, I mean, it's brutal. I've been fighting a cold all week, so being under this truck, it's perfect. This truck's got a really cool story though. I mean, it's rusty. It's got a good name. Wife named him Fred. I thought that was a good Ford name. Fred the work truck. But it's been in the family. It's got a really cool history, and the only thing, the uncle had the transmission professionally rebuilt like a year ago. It's an automatic, and the motor legitimately only has 60,000 miles on it, but you know, it has been a plow truck. I'm sure the fire department had about 1 million idle hours on it. But Sean and I actually went by the town of Batavia fire department and took pictures with the truck next to the sign. This is pretty cool. And when I was 16 years old, I actually took my driver's license test in the town of Batavia. So it's pretty cool to keep this old truck alive. Alright, we got her disconnected from the junction block. Question now is, oh yeah, what's holding her to the frame here? Oh, piece of rubber that's become one with the truck. Watch your eyes, babe. Alright, she's free from the frame now. Alright, I'm gonna go over to the other side. I think it actually, oh perfect, I can do that from above the wheel. See this rubber line here, which I have a replacement. So we're gonna break that line free right there. Then I'll get it out from under the truck and we can make a new line on the tailgate of the Raptor. Alright, I do have new rubber lines here, which I'm gonna take the opportunity to fix while we're doing this, but yeah, that wrench slipped right off there. I'm gonna get a new brake line here, or a new wrench. Might have to use a pair of vice grips to just do the Western New York style. Yeah, I can't breathe. I've been sick all week. Breathing like I weigh significantly more than I do. Yeah, I think this is going to be a vice grip job, unfortunately. Looks like that thing's been rounded off in its life at some point. I got this pair of mini vice grips here. I think that'll get the job done. Sometimes you can break them free with the vice grips and still have enough shape to them to use a wrench. Put some heat on them, which if I was at my shop I would, but ready? Oh, there she goes. Okay, probably get a wrench on there now. I'll tell you, this little Harbor Freight kit is a pretty good toolkit for stuff like this. I keep it in the trunk of that old Buick we have. I can go for a ice cold light beverage. Man, I really don't want to have to use vice grips to get this thing off all the way, but it's starting to look like that. Yep. There's some needle nose here. That brake line just literally just rotted right off when I tried to twist it. That's why I went ahead and bought an all new stainless hardline kit. I got it from Inline Tube, and it's supposed to be match factory bends and all that stuff. They never really do. I mean, they're close, but they're usually close enough that you can make them look pretty good. Here you go. Here's what remains of that brake line. This rubber line has seen better days too. But for now, I'll get this cross member line out of here and we can see how bad it really is. I don't want to like bend anything else in here because it's going to induce more leaks. All right. There she is. I think our leak is right here at this 90-degree bend. But that right there is an original brake line, I think. She is crispy. Crispy fried chicken. Alright, let's make a brake line. My uncle was so confident that this was going to happen, he hooked me up with some brake line that we had in the toolbox. I brought some of my own, but I'm just rough bending to this cross member. It's not going to be pretty. This is a get home repair. Just basically so we have the right length. And it doesn't take much to make a brake line, really. Get yourself a simple little tubing cutter and one of these Amazon style clamp kits, which I hate. If you're doing brake lines that you care about, Eastwood makes a tool that is industrial grade that will do brake lines on pretty much any car, and it makes perfect lines and flares every time. These clamp kits are kind of finicky and you got to take your time, and sometimes they leak, but they will get the job done, especially if you're just needing to do a simple repair like this. And I will be sending these tools back to my uncle. but we borrowed them for the road trip. And he had already bought in this stuff because he had popped a line plowing one morning and had to fix one in the driveway. So, all right. One horribly bent cross-member brake line. So now, we take our little tool here. This is a double flare tool, and these things, if you've never done one of these before, they're kind of a pain to figure out. It helps if you have a vise, but this is a 3/16 line, so we need this 3/16 dolly right here. And what you want to do is get this brake line to be as tall as that fat bottom piece on the die there. So I'm doing this crudely, but you see what I'm talking about right there. So that's about right. Now we're gonna clamp that side of the brake line. Double check the height here, it's pretty good. Clamp that side, and oh, you know what I forgot to do? I didn't put a stupid fitting on there. Okay, well, let's start over. I got what I think is the right fitting on there here. And I'm taking my little flare tool and I've got it set to that depth. Now I'm going to take this little tool, put it inside the brake line. You can see it's got an index there for the flare, or for, man, I can't talk, for the anvil of this little clamp. And so what you're going to do is you're making the first part step one of a double flare. Now when I repaired the first time, I just made a simple single flare due to time. But this time we're just gonna actually do a double flare. And again, this is MacGyver repair just to get us back to my house. So the thing with these brake lines and this kind of clamp tool is you don't want to mash this thing real hard. Just, you know, go till it stops. Try to keep everything straight. See, I don't even like how that's going in there right now, but we'll see. Okay. Now we gotta get, I don't know who's messaging me, but I wish they would stop. Yeah, see, that does not look that great. Did not go straight. It's one of the reasons I hate these kits. I'll try to salvage it here. Alright, so now you take that anvil out and you put this clamp back on there, and you actually use the anvil itself that the clamp has in it and push it back in there, and that'll make your double flare. Yeah, it's not great, but for the purpose of what we're trying to do today, she'll work. And you can see it's off center. It's not a great brake line, but it'll work. Right there, that's a double flare, and it fits on that fitting nicely. The inside of it does not look great, but it'll seal. Because of this type of brake line, it'll seal. So now we just need to do the other side, which I believe was the same size brake line. Yeah. That looks right there. So we're just gonna repeat the process. I'm just gonna bend this thing to just get it in the truck. I don't really care what it looks like. I just want brakes. The worst part is getting a new brake line in and not cross-threading it. Alright. That is a bad mamma jamma starter he put in this thing. He wasn't kidding about that. Okay, I'm gonna get this one snugged up here. Not tight, but just, you know, snugged. Just gonna try to contort this thing to definitely don't need it touching the exhaust manifold. Use the engine cross member to help me bend this thing how I want it. This stuff is awesome because you can literally just bend it with your hand. Alright. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. A lot of Fred falling on the ground. Alright, I'm proceeding to the wheel. Question is, should I just go ahead and replace this rubber line right now while I'm here doing this? I feel like I should. So that's what I'm gonna do. Watch your face. Oh yeah. Delicious. What size do you suppose that is? Those Western New York winters, man. They're brutal. I don't want to ruin this banjo bolt because I don't have any. There we go, it turned. Alright, suppose I could use a wrench actually. 9/16 maybe? 9/16 it is. Alright, perfect. Alright, I have a new one of these, so what's funny is these rubber lines, they come with copper washers, but they never come with the little clips that hold them to the frame. Just shove that old rusty one back in. Make a nice little friend. Yep. There's the old one. Save that rusty banjo bolt. Get this copper washer off of here. Alright. Hopefully I didn't just put a bunch of trash into that brake caliper. Okay, so if you've never changed one of these out before, copper washer goes on each side of the block, and then a hollow bolt called a banjo bolt goes through. The copper seals it from the top and the bottom. Got a brand new one here from Rock Auto. This is a cheapest one I could get. Sunsong, part number 2201077. Comes with a new line and new copper washers, but does not come with the banjo bolt or the clip. Looks like a Ford brake line to me. Same general length. Yuppers. Does have a new clip on the line, so that's nice, but okay. Where's that banjo bolt at? Put one copper line washer over the bolt. Oh no. Drop the washer down in the cannot see it. Here, bring that light up here for me. That copper washer might be gone. I have to get my phone. Alright, it's good and tight. Now I'm going to take this bad boy, only goes in one way. It's got a little bit of a U shape to it. I'm going to try to stick this here. Oh, can you hand that to me? No, it's going to work good enough. I'm going to try to feed my new brake line in here. Can't tell if that's cross-threaded or not. Okay, well, I started to take the rear. You can see this rubber hose here has got a bulge in it, so it's leaking internally. It's ruptured and it is squirting on this tank. Getting the axle vent out was fun. This little guy right here goes in the vent and then also holds the brake line to the axle like that. When I tried to, this line here has been replaced at some point. When I tried to take the left rear line off that line, it just broke, and it also broke at the caliper. So now you can see why I'm just going to replace every single brake line on this truck. But again, for now, I have a new rubber one here. My uncle already replaced that hard line that goes along the frame, so I'll get the rest of this rubber hose off, and then we'll make a brake line for this. I think that one, I had to get it off with vice grips, but I think I can get it tight enough with vice grips that it'll get us home. Okay, so if you look here, this was the left rear brake line. I just threw a homemade one together real quick. You can see both ends broke off of it. This is the rubber line that goes from the frame down to the axle. I had to cut it because I couldn't get that banjo bolt U-lock, that little U-shaped clip that holds the brake to the frame. I couldn't get that out, so That's fine. I'm just gonna attach this loose for now, but we've got a brand new brake line here. It's a little bit different than factory, but it'll do the same function here. Just got to make sure I put the right side on the right side. So it's pretty much how it looks. This is the left side of the axle, and the right side of the axle still has the line on it, and then this goes up to the frame, and that'll fix our leaky rear brake circuit. Now, if you're new to doing brake repairs, I'll just show you some things. So this is a sign of a bad rubber brake line. You see that little bubble right there? You can feel it rubbing your finger over it. These things, when they get bad, they'll collapse internally, and when they rupture, you'll see it as a little bubble on the outside of the brake line. And then eventually it'll just pop and you'll lose your brakes. So we got a brand new one here. We'll go ahead and get that put under the truck, and we'll bring you back. Alright, so you can see the axle vent here. We got this new Chinese Rock Auto brake line. I don't know if you can see up here. See that? But that is where the old brake line went, right here, and it's all rusted. I'm gonna have to get that out at the shop. For now, I've just got this floating with a new brake line. It's attached. Here, take that. And I got it a new line going to the hose here, and I made this old line that had been replaced work. So all we gotta do is attach the axle vent hose, which also needs to be replaced. And we should have front and rear brakes now. So it doesn't look pretty, but it's functional, and it'll get us home till I get back to my shop with the right tools and new brake lines, and I'll come back through here and do everything again. But now I think I'm gonna replace the left front rubber hose, so I'm confident that it's got all new rubber lines on it and the truck's safe to drive until I put all new brake lines on it. Alright, so this brake line here, you can see, is all cracked and dry rotted. It's got some paint on it. It's time for this one to be replaced too. It's just life of a plow truck, man. That's what happens. So luckily my uncle had just recently replaced this line, so that'll break off easy, and then we'll swap this line out. And these rubber lines are cheap. They're like, I think this is $7. So while I'm here, might as well. All right, we got a new brake line here. I'm gonna have to torch this or get it hot at my shop to get that out of there. So for now, this is free floating, but that'll get us home. And you can see the carnage here. We've got 2 hard lines replaced, all the rubber brake lines in the system, ripped off the dust shield off one of the wheels. So the only brake lines left are this front master cylinder line here, and somebody had replaced the right rear axle line already. So the only original brake line left is this guy, and I'm gonna replace all of them. But for today, this will be, every single brake line that I've just made is gonna get replaced by a brand new stainless pre-bent line. But for now, this will be good. So now I'm gonna fill up this thing with fluid, and we're gonna start breathing her out here. This happens to be my mother-in-law's driveway. She's not gonna be very happy with all the brake fluid that's all over the driveway, but you know, us husbands get back any way we can. So I'm gonna fill this thing all the way to the tippity top. She's lost a lot of fluid, but the fluid in this truck was brown, so this needed to be done anyway. Ow, get off me, tree. So I'm gonna leave this cracked loose on there. These things right here, I've been seeing floating around on the social medias a lot lately, and I decided to give one a try. And to be honest with you, I'm sold. This little guy is pretty sweet. It makes it so you don't need someone to bleach your brakes, but it's got a little arrow on here, and you want the fluid to travel out of the caliper with the arrow. So I got a little empty jar. I'm gonna have my wife be the brake pumper person, and we're gonna bleed the brakes, see where all our leaks are. Alright, so we ran into an issue with these front rubber replacement lines, and this, you know, aftermarket parts nowadays, it's just how it is. The wife noticed a huge puddle under the line I just replaced, and these brake calipers have a recess in them for the copper washer, and the copper washer that it comes with is about half as thick as the one it replaces, so it just wasn't getting a good seal. I definitely, at the shop, I have a whole thing full of different size copper washers, but just something to be on the lookout if you're ordering these to fix your truck. Just get some extra copper washers, because these ones the lines come with are too thin. Also, it's really cheap to buy new bleeders, and if they're rusty, just get new bleeders. So I've got some new bleeders here for the front and the back. Just gotta figure out which one is which. Oh, looks like those are the back. So I'm gonna replace the rear bleeder on both sides. Then I'm gonna top off the fluid, and then I'm gonna have the wife get in there and pump the brakes. So, I mean, anytime I say release, release it, but if I don't say release, just hold it to the floor, okay? But for now, I just want you to slowly pump it to the floor. Stop.
Stop means release or pull?
Yeah, just stop, because I don't have this side tight over here.
Okay.
Good news is we got brake fluid coming to push it to the floor. Stop.
Release?
Yeah.
Kind of the wrong name.
Whatever. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's the right name, but you're the master.
Well, I'm the master, so what would you be, the Padawan?
Yeah, the Padawan.
Nerd. All right, go ahead and pump it.
What a nerd is you knew.
Hey, slowly, I'm recording. Why don't you slowly do your job? All right. Okay, push it to the floor. There we go, release. Push it to the floor. Release. Push it to the floor. Release. Push it to the floor. Oh yeah, that's nice fluid coming out of there, dude. Release. Push it to the floor. Hold it. Are you holding it?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, release. Pump it.
Oh, it doesn't go all the way to the straight to the floor anymore.
That's good. Okay, just let go of it for a second. I'm gonna move to the other side, okay? Whew, some of the fluid that came out back here. I don't think this right rear brake fluid was ever working. I think this line is leaking a little bit. Okay, pump it. All right, you can stop. All right, pump it up again. Okay, hold on a second. Push it to the floor. You ready?
There it goes.
Okay, push it.
It's all the way to the floor.
Release. Press. Good. Release. Press. Nice. Release. Press. All right. Release. Press. Okay, hold it to the floor.
Yep.
All right. Okay, release, pump it back up and see if it holds pressure.
Yeah, it doesn't go to the floor.
Okay, just keep pumping. Is it getting firm?
Yeah, it doesn't go to the floor anymore.
All right, perfect. I'm just checking to see if these brake lines are leaking.
Is it still pumping?
Yeah. Now hold pressure and don't release it.
Okay.
Is it holding pressure?
Yep.
All right, perfect. We got a rear brake circuit. All right, you can release it. All right, pump it up. Till you feel any pressure?
Yeah, it doesn't go all the way to the floor.
Okay, now I'm gonna push it to the floor and hold. Okay, release to the floor. All right, release to the floor. 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 All right, pump it up. Hold on. We got a big leak here somewhere. You're not gonna believe this. Release.
I have not on it.
Press it. Oh my God. Guess what? The only brake line we didn't replace just sprung a leak.
Just did?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna have to make another brake line.
Okay,
Well, in a hilarious turn of events, as I told you guys, there was only one brake line that was original in this truck left. And we were bleeding the pressure. We got good rear pressure. We got good right front, but I kept getting air in the right front. And I heard a noise and I look over and this left front or this front master cylinder output line that goes to both front brakes was shooting a vertical tiny stream up every time she pushed the brake. So this one popped just now as we were bleeding it. So now I'm replacing this one and every brake line will have been replaced. I'm still going to put the nice new stainless lines on this once I have to do the brakes next time. But I'm going to whip up a new line real quick. That's the way she goes in an old rusty truck. All right, well, there's a huge mess under this truck and tools. Aftermath, I replaced all the rubber hoses, all the original brake lines that were left. So we had the front master, the front cross member line, the left rear axle line. Everything else on this truck's been replaced by my uncle at some point. And we replaced all the bleeders and made a huge mess, but she's got super firm pedal. I don't see any leaks, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to get out there under there and kind of clean everything up and re-bleed it when I get to the shop just to make sure there's no leaks. But I'll tell you, the pedal is super firm. Never felt this way before. So thing's been sitting for a week or two. The glow plug cycle here. Oh, she's a little cold. Cycle a little bit. Double cycle here. It says when cold to give it a half a pedal. Let's try it again. There we go. We turn the idle up to about 1,000. There we go. Let this girl warm up. Oh, the master cylinder. The brake booster's bad. You can hear it hissing. But we got good pressure. Well, I gotta go check a line somewhere. I feel like we're pushing it to the floor here. All right, well, I got quite the mess to clean up here, but the good news is that old Fred is back on the road here. The bad news is brake booster hisses. Hear that? And I think the master cylinder, well, maybe not. She's holding good pressure now. I think the master cylinder is leaking internally just a little bit, but I'll change that out. That's an easy $30 part right there. So we got brakes. She's sitting on a hill, drove himself up here. So all right, well, this truck just puts a smile on your face when you drive it. Brake system is still not 100%, but it's get home percent. Oh man, brakes have never worked this good. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. All right, well, we made it home. Operation Rescue Fred complete. Got the wood here. I did notice that the left front brake caliper is still leaking. It's because I reused a couple of copper washers. I had to get it here. But this is why you don't reuse copper washers. I mean, you can do it in a pinch. A lot of times they'll leak, especially if they're not thick enough to mash back down. So that's a simple fix. I got new copper washers in the shop. Everything else looks good. All the lines are holding. But I did discover a new problem, which is Fred leaks diesel. I don't know why, because Joel had just replaced this tank, but I'm gonna have to get up there. This is all diesel, so I don't know if it's coming out of the top of the pump or the sending unit or the fuel filler neck, or it just needs a new tank. I don't know. Anyways, old truck problems. Either way, it's back at the shop now, so it can be fixed. It's back on the road. This is easy stuff to fix. So we'll see you next time here on Time with Steel Garage.